I didn't start with a big plan. Didn't wake up one day and decide to change everything. It was smaller than that. Just started noticing things. How I felt in the morning. How tired I was during the day. How certain habits actually made things worse. So instead of trying to fix everything, I picked one thing. Not the perfect thing, just something simple. Maybe going for a short walk. Maybe eating something a bit better. Maybe going to bed a little earlier. So nothing extreme. Didn't feel like much at the time. It almost felt like it wouldn't make a difference. But it did something important. Broke the pattern. Because for the first time, I wasn't just repeating the same day. I was doing something slightly different. And that was enough to start. Not motivation. Not discipline. Just a small shift. And once that happened, it became easier to do it again the next day. Not perfect, just slightly better. I used to think I had to do everything right. Eat perfectly, train properly, sleep properly, be consistent every day. Because of that, I usually did nothing. Because it felt too much. So this time, I didn't try to fix everything. If I didn't feel like going to the gym, I went for a walk. If I didn't eat perfectly, I just ate a bit better than usual. If I had a bad day, I didn't reset everything. I just continued the next day. And that changed things. Because it removed the pressure. See, this wasn't about being perfect. It's just about doing something. And once you remove that pressure, it becomes easier to stay consistent. It's not because you're motivated, but because it's manageable. And that's what made the difference. I stopped trying to be perfect. And I started actually doing something. Nothing changed straight away. That's something I had to get used to. You expect to feel better quickly, more energy, better focus, something noticeable. But most days felt the same. Still felt a bit tired. Still had low energy some days. Still had moments where I didn't feel like doing anything, but I kept going. Not because I felt great, it's just because I'd started. And after a while, something small changed. Not how I looked, not anything obvious. Just how the day felt. A little more stable, a little more predictable, a little easier to get through. And that was enough to keep going. Because you realize it's not about instant results. It's about building something slowly, even if you don't see it yet. The first changes weren't visible. No one noticed anything. And honestly, I didn't expect them to. But I started noticing things. Didn't need as much coffee. Felt a bit more awake in the morning. My focus was slightly better. Nothing big, just small things. That's when it clicked. The changes were already happening, just not in a way you can see. They show up in how you feel first, in your energy, in your mood, in how you move through the day. Once you notice that, changes how you think about it. Because now you're not guessing anymore. you can actually feel the difference. And that makes it easier to continue. Not because you have to, but because it's starting to make sense. I didn't notice one big change. There wasn't a moment where everything suddenly felt different. It was gradual. Day by day, small decisions started to add up. Walking more, eating better, sleeping more consistently. Nothing extreme. But over time, it built something. And then one day, you realize something simple. You feel better. Not perfect. Not completely different. Just better. More energy. Clearer thinking. Less of that constant, tired feeling. And it didn't come from one big decision. It came from repeating small ones, again and again. And that's when it really clicks. It was never about changing everything. It's just about changing something. And sticking with it long enough for it to matter.